So in the wake of the FTX drama, Binance has actually released this new proof of reserve system, which actually guarantees that the customers which hold crypto on the exchange are backed one-to-one in a reserves. So you know that if everyone wanted to take their coins out of the Binance exchange right now, then they could do, and there wouldn't be any complications with liquidity. This is what happened with FTX. They didn't actually guarantee the user funds that were on there, and then instead they backed it by FTT. So Binance actually had to work really quickly to get this new proof of reserve system out so that it could ensure users that they are actually holding the Bitcoin that they say or the other coins that they say, and then it puts more faith in Binance. So what is proof of reserves? When we say proof of reserves, we are specifically referring to those assets which we hold in custody for users. This means that we are showing evidence and proof that Binance has funds that will cover all of our user assets one-to-one, as well as some reserves. When a user deposits 1 Bitcoin, Binance's reserves increase by at least 1 Bitcoin to ensure client funds are fully backed. It's important to note that this does not include Binance's corporate holdings, which are kept in a completely separate ledger. So their corporate holdings are actually the ones that they hold in terms of Binance's investments. So they might have a load of investments into Bitcoin, and that's on their other company ledger. What this means in actual terms is that Binance holds all user assets one-to-one as well as some reserves. We have zero debt on our capital structure, and we have made sure that we have an emergency fund for extreme cases. And then it just goes on to say that read on more to see more information what we have built to allow people to check their funds was safe in Binance. So what they have invented is a new thing called Merkle Tree. So in order to show that Binance has all user assets one-to-one, we have built and implemented the Merkle Tree, which is shown below, the access to it, to allow people to verify their assets within the platform. Our goal is that every user will be able to verify their asset holdings using one of their own generated Merkle hash record IDs. This way people will be able to confirm that their funds are held one-to-one and they can be verified by a third-party audit agency. So what is a Merkle Tree? A Merkle Tree is a cryptographic tool, so it's a consensus tool that enables the consolidation of large amounts of data into a single hash. So this large amount of data will be the number of people holding assets on Binance. This single hash called a Merkle root. So the Merkle root splits off into a Merkle tree, and the Merkle tree is what you get in terms of auditing Binance to show that they have the amount of Bitcoin that you have. So it's called Merkle root, and it acts as a cryptographic seal that summarizes all inputted data. Additionally, Merkle Tree gives users the ability to verify specific contents that were included within a particular set of sealed data. We use these properties of Merkle Tree during our proof of reserves assessment to verify individual user accounts are included within the liabilities report inspected by the auditor. So they're going to have a third-party auditor that can come in, so you can have peace of mind that you know that Binance isn't faking it. So they're going to have a different party that's going to check it for you, and then it'll send it onto your Binance account so you can see that you have the proof of reserves. So how does it work? So you log into Binance website, click on wallet, so obviously you have to sign in. Click on audit, which is at the bottom if you see this picture to the right side here, and then you'll be able to find your Merkle leaf and record ID within the page. Select the audit date you want to verify, and then you'll be able to confirm the audit type with your record ID specific to your account and this particular audit, the assets that were covered, and your asset balances at the time of the audit. So you can do this audit at any time. You can actually go back in time, print it out, and see which Bitcoin holdings you had. Now currently they're only doing Bitcoin, but they have mentioned that they'll be adding other assets, but we'll get into that a little bit. The record ID enables you to independently verify that your account balance was included by the third-party auditor and would be available shortly. So this is what they have. It's kind of like a snapshot, but there's a different announcement on the Binance page, which we're going to look at here, which goes more in depth into it. So following our recent announcement outlining our commitment to transparency, Binance is releasing its proof of reserve system, which is the next step in our effort to provide transparency on our user funds. The launch of this feature will start initially with Bitcoin, so they don't actually have any other coins yet, but it says here with other tokens and networks being added in the next couple of weeks. So this will be like Ethereum, Solana, Tether and stuff like that. So this is the whole snapshot of all of Binance, but this is kind of what it will look like if you ask to audit your own one. It will show like the asset, the on-chain reserves, customer net balance. So it'll actually show your balance, and it just goes over the block heights, so what time it was recorded at. This snapshot time was around 3 days ago, so the on-chain reserves could have changed by now. So as you can see here, Bitcoin here is the asset. There'll probably be more tables for this, when they add the assets in. And I have a reserve ratio of 101%. So they have 1% to work with if everything goes wrong and there's an extreme case where they don't actually have the Bitcoin on chain. So currently they have 582,485 Bitcoin. And the customer net balance is only 575,742. So they're actually working with around 7,000 Bitcoin in errors. So if anything goes wrong, extreme cases as they said, they have 7,000 Bitcoin that they can issue if anything goes wrong in these audits. So if you click on this link, it will actually take you to the verification where you can actually verify your Bitcoin assets on Binance. There'll obviously be new ones coming in the next 2 weeks. And it says here in the upcoming plans what they have planned for the next couple of weeks. So they'll launch the next batch of proof of reserves in the next 2 weeks, including additional assets, involve third-party auditors to audit proof of reserve results. So currently they don't have a third-party auditor, but they are going to offer it. So in theory, you can send this information to a third-party auditor. They'll go into Binance, they'll look at the Binance reserves, see if yours is held, and then you can come back out and they'll say to you, yes, yours is held. And then you have confirmation from both Binance and the third-party auditor. This is good in cases where you need to show that you have liquidity, maybe if you wanted to take loans out on the Bitcoin that you had. Implement of ZK snarks for proof of reserves, improving privacy and robustness, and providing the total net balance USD of each user is non-negative. So this comes into actually margins. So if you're doing margins and loans, then your Binance balance will be in non-negative. Because Binance offers margin and loan services, the audit results will show the net balance, equity and debt of each user, when the net balance equals equity minus debt. As such, there will be individual users having negative asset balances, hence we are also working to implement ZK snarks. So this is going to actually come in and negate the effects of the negative balances by looking at your margins and loans, which will be used to prove those users have enough other assets to cover the funds with collateral. This will prove that the total net balance for each user is non-negative. So in theory, if you wanted to take a margin call out, you'd actually have to prove that you have other funds, it may be in Ethereum or it may be in Bitcoin, to show that you can cover the loss if it goes the wrong way. Lastly, I just want to take a look at Bitcoin here. If you look at the top 4 markets on CoinMarketCap, you can see that the liquidity score of Binance is the highest one out there. Now this new proof of reserve system obviously means that they have the Bitcoin and the other assets to cover if everyone wants to take out their assets at the same time. This is why they have such a good liquidity score, because they have so much on chain. But overall, it's good for the crypto space because FTX kind of blew up because they weren't actually proven that they had the reserves there if everyone wanted to take their money out. Now, other exchanges should start implementing this. Binance is kind of setting the standard for what exchanges should be. Other exchanges like Coinbase, KuCoin, Bitstamp should start actually implementing this proof of reserve system. It might not be the same as Binance, but it will be similar. Merkle Tree and Merkle Root is actually a very good thing to have, and I'd like to see these exchanges start to adopt it so we can have faith in the crypto community again, that people are actually holding our assets on chain and we can take them out whenever we want. So that's it for the video, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Also, leave a comment what you think about this proof of reserve system in the comments below.